Hey everyone, DJ here, and I thought I would do a new video, kind of 3 weeks later with the BlackBerry Priv, which is right here with the leather flip case. Yeah, I thought I'd do like a 3 weeks later kind of thing. I'm still using it, and for the past 3 weeks, it has been my daily driver. I don't really use BlackBerry 10, and I haven't picked up the BlackBerry 10 device to use kind of full time. I do pick it up every now and then, and to test out apps, to write posts on BlackBerry. But apart from that, this is really what I've been using to give it a chance. Having said that, I don't think I've kind of really dove into the OS. I've kind of said, we've got to embrace it. If you listen to my podcast, I'm saying, this is kind of the direction right now if we want to see the hardware division survive. But I think for the past 3 weeks I've kind of been tentative and just moseying through the OS. I don't think I've given it a full chance yet. So that's definitely something, and I think that's my own mindset. I really kind of need to forget BlackBerry 10. Obviously, it's not BlackBerry 10. It's not going to have the flow. BlackBerry 10 definitely has the flow. It's just that slightly more efficient when it comes to communication and reading, or just going through your messages. And the hub here does not equal the hub on BlackBerry 10, because BlackBerry 10, that's what is core to BlackBerry 10, the hub, and it's just kind of an app here, so you can't get the same experience. And I know that going in, but I think it's overall, I'm still kind of, one foot is still in BlackBerry 10 land, and one foot, I'm kind of dipping my toes right now to Android, and I think I need to get out of that mindset and really, dive in to the deep end and really get to using the Android OS, because I think my own mindset is stopping me from maybe enjoying the device. I don't think I'm going to enjoy it as much as BlackBerry 10, but it's certainly, it's not bad. I'm enjoying the fact that I have more access to apps, and I think I haven't also gone out and tried to discover a lot. I've obviously looked for alternatives to what I'm used to on BlackBerry 10, like file managers and something equivalent to Quick Post on BlackBerry 10 that allows you to just type once and push to all social media accounts. And there are things on Android that are available as well. So I've looked at those things, but I haven't looked beyond what I already use on BlackBerry 10, and maybe that's actually what I'm going to end up being happy with. But then if that's the case, maybe I could go back to BlackBerry 10 to get that kind of better flow within the OS. Obviously Android, I'm now used to double tapping the screen to wake it up as opposed to swiping the screen, and I know, I'm used to using the Recents tab to go between different apps. So you get used to that. That's just something we do, and when we went from BlackBerry OS to BlackBerry 10, there was a transition as well. There was no, hardware keys. It was all gestures, and we had to get used to that. So it's kind of, I have to adjust, learn a new OS, and I think I need to deep dive more than I deep dive going from BlackBerry OS to BlackBerry 10. And I think perhaps I should have done that a bit earlier. I mean, 3 weeks is a long time, and I really should have been embracing it if I'm going to stick with it that long. But I think I wanted to give it a chance, but I still was kind of, thinking of BlackBerry 10 behind me. So I definitely kind of need to move from that mindset. Most other people will probably go to the Priv and really embrace it fully and do everything, and I don't know if there'll be others like me, but I'm taking the slow approach. But I think from this point forward, I need to kind of embrace all the stuff. I mean, I said it in the podcast, if you do listen to my podcast, the BlackBerry 10 apps, or the BlackBerry apps, kind of the hub, the keyboard, the calendar, and just the hub mainly, and the keyboard, that definitely helps to transition BlackBerry 10 users to Android. It's something familiar. And I do like the hub, and I know going into this that it wouldn't equal the hub on BlackBerry 10, but it's useful and it is handy, and I've stuck with it, and I do think it's still keeping me on top of things, but not as efficiently as I keep on top of my email on BlackBerry 10, but it does help. And the productivity tab I am using more and more, more so now than at the beginning. It really is the alternative to Peak. If I'm in an app, you know, I can just swipe in, if like the LED notification or the sound notification goes up, I can just swipe in, and then I can check to see if anything is new, if I need to respond. If not, I can continue where I was and keep going. So yeah, I'm finding I'm using the productivity tab a lot more. But others have, you know, turned off and disabled all the BlackBerry apps and tried other launches and stuff. And maybe in the future I'll try that if I really want to deep dive and learn the OS and see what other things are on offer. But for the time being, because of the keyboard shortcuts, you do lose them if you use another launcher. I'm good. I'm quite happy with the hub and what it is, and I'm looking forward to any improvements that will come about, and if they can really bring the pinch to zoom, I'd be very, very happy. One thing I did notice quite early on, BBM is faster on, well, it seems to run faster on Android than it does on BlackBerry 10, especially at the beginning when you're syncing groups. I've got a lot of groups, and whenever I kind of wipe my device, my BlackBerry 10 device, or I transfer from a BlackBerry 10 to another BlackBerry 10 device, I normally leave pulling over BBM to the end of the day before I go to sleep, and it allows BBM to kind of fully sync and fully settle overnight, because it kind of needs those few hours to settle. I didn't do that with Android. I kind of thought, I'm diving in, transferring my BBM. It kind of it loaded faster, and I didn't have to wait for a lot of the groups to sync, which is weird because I have to wait hours on BlackBerry 10 for groups to sync. Like I said, I have lots of groups, and I think I've maxed out my groups, so possibly not. You can have a maximum of 30. I don't think I'm there at the max, but I have a lot of groups. I am close to that number. It is faster, although notifications are hit and miss, especially with BBM channels. I like using BBM channels. I post to my channel frequently, and I follow a lot of other channels as well, and it's kind of a side thing on here. It's a totally kind of a side section, maybe not an afterthought, but it's not prominent as it is on BlackBerry 10. And the notifications I sometimes miss. There are notifications that come through in the notification tray. Sometimes when I tap that notification, it opens 2 channels, but it always defaults to the kind of Discover tab. But other times it doesn't, it just opens BBM, so then I have to go into channels. But if I go to the notification section, I also find that there are notifications there that I never saw, and so like I said, I miss some comments or posts from some of my favorite channels. So hit and miss, but it runs faster. So fix it and perhaps try and bring BBM video. Maybe that's wishful thinking. One thing that I really love, again, is like Peak, but you can do it to more apps, is kind of the widgets, the icon widgets. So on the BlackBerry app, if I just wanted to, oops, I opened the app. If I wanted to just quickly see what's new, I can swipe on the app and it brings up the widget. And you can get, if there are several widgets available to the app, you can select at the beginning which widget you like. So I've got the, just to see what's new. And you can do that for all other things. I use Phoenix Twitter app, so I can do that, and it just shows me the latest in my timeline. And that keeps a clean home screen, because I don't need to stick widgets on my screen. I just got 2. Second screen is mostly folders with my most kind of used apps, and then the ones that aren't in folders are things I access a lot quicker. And I think having that is great because you don't need to clutter your screen with widgets. And I think, I've read a lot of reviews and a lot of people like that, and I do like it. It's an alternative to Peak, and with BBM as well, I can just do the same and see what's new and all that. So I really, really like that. It's really great that they've done it like that. Definitely something useful and handy and different as well. And that you can do that with any app that has widgets. Battery life 3 weeks later. It's still not lasting me as long as the BlackBerry Passport. Now the BlackBerry Passport has got 40 milliamp hour more, and in the bigger scheme of things that's tiny, but it's still, it doesn't, I can get through a day, but I have to plug it in charge a lot quicker than I do my BlackBerry Passport Silver Edition. I mean, the original Passport lasted me long. The Silver Edition lasts even longer. This one, the Android one, doesn't last as long as even the original Passport. I can still make that last longer. When I say it lasts me a day, if on a college day from 9 to 5, it will last me that day without me having to plug in during the day. But by the time, not by the time I get home exactly, but by dinner time, I'll probably have to plug it in to have a quick top up. With the Passport, I never had to do that until it was time for bed. So definitely could see improvements, and I feel like the January update made it worse, but it could just be me. I'd have to do more testing, but it's not as long as the BlackBerry Passport, but the Z10 was worse, and I think when I had the Q10 it was just about like that. And the Z30 originally, it did used to last me a day, not as much as the Passport, but maybe almost on par as well as the Priv battery. Overall, I really like the hardware. It's the Android OS that I'm personally still tentative about, and I think from this point forward I might kind of try and embrace it a bit more. Maybe, like I said, try other launchers, see what that's like, give the OS a chance. But if I'm not actually finding any benefits to having access to all those apps, then I might just return to this beautiful, sexy, equally sexy in hardware Passport Silver Edition. Those are my thoughts right now. I might do another one after I've had it for a month or two, if I still have it in a month or two. I'll keep following up if you want me to. Comments and your thoughts are also welcome. Comment away. I'm always there. Happy to chat. So, until next time, bye.